Hey guys, good morning. Welcome back to my channel. I hope that you guys are starting to get a little more adjusted with this whole e-learning thing as we're getting going forward. Again, if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to email me. In the mornings between 9 and noon is when I'm really trying to focus on being as close to my phone and laptop as possible. That way I can make sure I answer all your guys' emails and stuff. So those will be like the best times to get a hold of me, but I'll still email you back throughout the day. It just might not be as quick. But going forward, today is going to be our last day we spend talking about Japan's geography before we dive more into the history and the culture of Japan. So, with that being said, we're going to go through some quick notes here. These notes will also be shared with you, so if you miss anything in the video or you want to go back and just look at them yourself, they'll be on Classroom for you. But once we go through these, I'll explain your guys' assignment today. It's pretty short and easy assignment to do today. And then starting with next week, we'll be moving on and focusing more on the history and culture part of Japan. So with Japan and their geography, one thing that's important to note is that Japan is a archipelago, or a group of islands that are kind of tightly formed together. So there's four main islands of Japan. There's Hokkaido, which is up at the top. There's Honshu, which is the big one right here. There's Shikoku, which is this little guy down here. And then the last one is Kyushu, which is right here. And to me, I always think Japan kind of looks like a dragon almost, with Hokkaido being the head, Honshu being the body, Shikoku is almost being like the underbelly down here, and then Kyushu is the tail. That's just me though. But yeah, those are the four main islands of Japan. In terms of the islands, they're formed because of them kind of being on a fault line. And so they have two tectonic plates that are right here pressing together. And when those plates are pressing together, as you can see on the map, it causes these islands to slowly rise out of the ocean. Because of this, I've put two little fun videos from Moana on here that you can click on those links and go watch. But they kind of show the mountains rising out of the ocean to form islands as well. And I mean, they're just little fun videos if you guys want to take a look at those. Another big thing about being on the fault line, though, is that earthquakes happen. When those plates are pressing and shifting together, it can cause that friction, which causes earthquakes, which is not an uncommon thing in Japan. Japan does experience quite a few earthquakes throughout the year. These earthquakes also can cause tsunamis, either in Japan or other places, where because the earthquakes are happening and it's shifting and shaking things a little bit, it causes the water to move and create bigger waves that are eventually going to hit shore somewhere. Because of how Japan is set up, and it's very mountainous, very rocky, early people of Japan really struggled with farming. Even today, Japan imports a lot of food. They bring a lot of food in from other countries to make sure that they can meet the needs of their people. But before this, before 1100, whenever they started doing a lot more farming practices that were really beneficial, they mainly just lived on the coast. If you look at this map over here of the most major cities in Japan, if you look, the majority of them are on the coast or relatively close to the coast. This is because the main source of food for a lot of these people in Japan was fishing. So these early people of Japan were living on the coast, primarily fishing and living their life based on a fish-based diet, which is kind of what was talked about in the Ed Puzzle video as well. With this, though, the Japanese, being on an archipelago, did a lot of travel by boat from island to island. They're mainly going to stay within those islands, so they're not really going to branch out and go a lot of other places. They're mainly just going to stay in those islands. And like I said, it's not going to be till 1100 that these farming practices are going to improve